We had the Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony yesterday for the new incoming class of 2019. We had Mariano Rivera, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, a lot of players in the class. And it got me thinking about some players in Major League Baseball who could be Hall of Famers right now in their career, retire today, and they'd go into the Hall. So I thought, why not make a video about the 10 players in Major League Baseball that could retire and make it into the Hall of Fame right now with the stats that they have current day. I mean, strictly off what they have at this exact moment. No stats more, no stats less. As always with these videos, if you guys do enjoy, make sure to leave a like. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, this is the place to be. Make sure to hit that sub button. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree, if there's someone I left off this list, or maybe I shouldn't have put someone on here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. And if you guys want to buy any tickets to sporting events in the near future, make sure to head on over to SeatGeek and use the code Giraffe at checkout. Save yourself $20 off your first purchase. So let's start it off with the most obvious choice, the #1 player in baseball right now that could retire and would make the Hall of Fame based off his numbers today. That's Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols is one of the best players to ever play the game of baseball. I know it's kind of hard to remember how good he was because the last few years he hasn't been great, but for those of you who can remember the glory days of Albert Pujols, yeah, he was absolutely incredible. In his 19 years, Albert Pujols has accumulated some amazing stats and some amazing accolades. 3-time MVP, 10-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, a batting title winner, Rookie of the Year, 2-time World Series champion, 6-time Silver Slugger, and an NLCS MVP. In his 19 years, he's played with the Cardinals and Angels, of course. In his 2,770 games, he has 3,154 hits, 653 doubles, 648 home runs, 2,040 RBIs, 111 stolen bases, and 1,300 walks. He has a career average at 301 with an on-base at 380, slugging at 552, to give him a career OPS at 932. From 2003 until 2010, he was arguably the best player in baseball, winning the MVP 3 times, like I said. He finished in the top 5 of the MVP voting 7 times where he didn't win the MVP, a total of 10 including his wins. He's 6th all-time in home runs, 5th all-time in RBIs. He has the most home runs by a first baseman, 2nd most RBIs, and he's 21st in WAR all-time. Albert Pujols is clearly a Hall of Famer if he were to retire today. No doubt, first ballot Hall of Fame. For the next player on this list, I'm going to be talking about someone who's not even 28 years old yet. Yeah, it's Mike Trout. He's just that good. It sounds insane, but he would be able to make the Hall of Fame right now with the current numbers he has in baseball. He's that good. Mike Trout first came up in 2011 where he appeared in 40 games and has played a total of 9 years in Major League Baseball. And his numbers are just wild. Like, they're so incredibly good. He's a 2-time MVP, 8-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, Rookie of the Year winner, 6-time Silver Slugger, and Wilson Overall Defensive Player of the Year. He's been in the top 5 in the MVP voting every single year except 2011 where he only played 40 games. He's finished 2nd 4 times. Oh yeah, and by the way, he's gonna win the MVP in 2019 again. In only 9 seasons, Trout has already accumulated 1,285 hits, 245 doubles, 45 triples, 272 home runs, 727 RBIs, 197 stolen bases, 772 walks. A career average at 306, on base at 419, slugging at 580, and an OPS at 999 for his career, almost 1,000. Now, even though I'm not a huge fan of the WAR stat, people do use it to weigh the value of a baseball player, and his career WAR right now through 9 seasons is 70.4. That puts him 64th all-time in WAR in Major League Baseball history, ahead of a lot of guys who are already in the Hall of Fame. So yes, he has played a short amount of time in Major League Baseball, but his numbers are good enough already to be a Hall of Fame type player. If we're talking about players who deserve to be in the Hall of Fame right now, you gotta include Miguel Cabrera on this list. He's a Hall of Famer as well. Miguel Cabrera came up with the Florida Marlins in 2003 and has since played the rest of his career since 2008 with the Detroit Tigers, and he's had one of the best careers in Major League Baseball history as well, one of the top hitters of all time. As you can imagine, in his 17-year career in Major League Baseball, he's had some crazy numbers as well. 2-time MVP award winner. He won the Triple Crown back in 2012, 11-time All-Star, 2003 World Series champion, 7-time Silver Slugger, and a 4-time batting champion. He's finished in the top 5 of MVP voting 5 times, not including the 2 times he won. He's one of the best hitters we've ever seen play the game. In 17 seasons, Miguel Cabrera has played in 2,352 games, accumulating 2,765 hits over that time, 569 doubles, 470 home runs, 1,672 RBIs, and 1,117 walks. A career average at 315, 393 on-base percentage, 545 slugging to give him an OPS at 938. He's 34th all-time in home runs. For his career, he's just behind Mike Trout in WAR, which again proves how good Mike Trout has been, but also how good Miguel Cabrera has been. When you think of one of the best hitters of the 2000s, Miguel Cabrera's name automatically comes up. He's a stud, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, especially if he just ended his career today. Switching it on over to a pitcher now, we're going to talk about one of the best pitchers that I've ever seen play. That's going to be Clayton Kershaw. After coming up as a rookie in 2008 to a shaky season, Clayton Kershaw has been one of the best pitchers in baseball since. since, arguably the best. Since 2009, Clayton Kershaw hasn't had an ERA above 3 for a season. He won the MVP back in 2014. He's a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. He won the pitching Triple Crown back in 2011. 8-time All-Star, Gold Glove Award winner, 5-time ERA title champion. He's led the league in strikeouts 3 times. In 12 seasons, Clayton Kershaw has a record of 161 and 71 with an ERA at 2.41. He's thrown over 2,200 innings, 25 complete games, 15 shutouts, a career whip at 1.005, almost 2,400 strikeouts, a strikeout to walk ratio of 4.29. He's just been a dominant pitcher since the late 2000s, early 2010s, and has to go down as one of the best left-handed pitchers in all of baseball. Staying with the theme of pitchers, let's talk about the best right-handed pitcher in baseball in the last decade, Max Scherzer. Similar to Kershaw, Scherzer came up in that 2008 season and actually had a bit of a rougher start to the beginning of his career. Since 2013, when he won the Cy Young Award with the Detroit Tigers, he has been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Scherzer's a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 7-time All-Star. Since 2013, he hasn't finished lower than 5th in the Cy Young Award voting and has also been in the top 10 of MVP voting 3 times as a pitcher. In 12 years, Max Scherzer has a 168 and 87 record with a 3.16 ERA in 357 games pitched in. He has 2,247 innings pitched, 10 complete games, 5 shutouts, a career whip at 1.091. He struck out 2,630 batters, which is 25th in Major League Baseball history, and he has a career strikeout to walk ratio at 4.33. Max Scherzer has just been absolutely dominant, one of the best pitchers of the last decade, and when you're that dominant for that long in baseball, it typically gets you into the Hall of Fame. Now to move on over to one of the best pitchers in the American League in the last decade, let's talk about Justin Verlander. Verlander has a few more seasons under his belt than the previously mentioned Scherzer and Kershaw, and he's been equally as dominant as a pitcher in his career. Verlander's won an MVP award, he's also won a Cy Young Award, Rookie of the Year, he's won the pitching Triple Crown, 8-time All-Star, 2017 World Series champion, he's won an ERA title, and he's also been an ALCS MVP. In his 15-year career, he's played 13 with the Tigers, 3 with the Houston Astros, and he's just been a beast on both teams. He's finished in the top 5 in the Cy Young voting 6 times, not including the one time he won, and twice inside the top 10 for MVP, again, not including the MVP he won. In his 15-year career, Verlander has a record of 216 wins to 127 losses, a 3.37 ERA in 440 starts, 24 complete games, 8 for shutouts, 2,897 innings pitched, a whip at 1.147. He struck out nearly 3,000 batters at 2,878, which puts him 18th all-time in Major League Baseball history, and he has a strikeout to walk ratio at 3.44. There was definitely a patch in Kershaw's career towards the end of his time with the Tigers where you're starting to question how good he was, but then he went to the Astros and his career has revitalized. And here it comes, guys. Like a fine wine, Justin Verlander has gotten better with age. He has a renaissance of his career with the Houston Astros. He's one of the best pitchers the game has seen in the 2000s. Definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And then staying in the American League, we're actually going to be talking about probably the best left-handed pitcher in the American League of the 2000s, CC Sabathia. Now, it just so happens to be that CC Sabathia has announced that he's going to retire after this season, so it's a perfect time to judge whether or not he should be a Hall of Famer. Of course, in my opinion, he should be, otherwise he wouldn't be in this video. CC won a Cy Young Award back in 2007. He's a 6-time All-Star, 2009 World Series champion, of course, with the Yankees, and he was also an ALCS MVP. He's finished in the top 5 of Cy Young voting 4 times, not including the time he won. And overall, he's been one of the best left-handed pitchers Major League Baseball has ever seen, especially in the 2000s. He came up in 2001 where he arguably could have won the Rookie of the Year, although he lost it to Ichiro, who was also the MVP that season, so understandable. In his 19-year career, CC Sabathia has a 251 and 157 record, a 3.71 ERA in 553 career starts, 38 complete games, 12 of those being shutouts. He's pitched over 3,500 innings, striking out over 3,000 batters, and has a career whip at 1.255 with a career strikeout to walk ratio at 2.82. When you go back and look at CC's numbers throughout his career, it was obvious that he's one of the best pitchers to ever pitch in the 2000s, especially when you consider that he's left-handed. He 100% deserves to be a Hall of Famer. And then for the final pitcher of today's video, we're going to be going back to the National League. He spent time though in the American League as well. We're talking about Zack Greinke. Zack Greinke has casually put up a Hall of Fame career. The reason you don't know about it is because he played with the Royals for so long, who have been bad. He then also played for the Brewers, Diamondbacks, and really the only time you probably heard of him was with the Dodgers, because that was for a big market team. But for the most of his career, he's been playing in small markets, which is why you might not think he's as good as he really is. But when I read out his numbers and his accolades, don't worry, I'm going to change your mind. Greinke won the Cy Young back in 2009 with the Royals. He's a 6-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove Award winner, a Silver Slugger, and he's a 2-time ERA champion. One of the better hitting pitchers of all time, along with one of the best fielding pitchers of all time, extremely athletic off the mound. But that's not why he gets in. He gets in because he's also a really good pitcher. Came up in 2004 with the Kansas City Royals and finished 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting that year, and he's been a pretty good pitcher since. In his 16 years in Major League Baseball, Greinke has a 197 and 122 record with a 3.36 ERA in 476 appearances. He's thrown 16 complete games, 5 of those for shutouts. In his career, he's pitched just under 2,800 innings with 2,558 strikeouts. He has a career whip at 1.162 and a a strikeout to walk ratio at 3.91. Greinke sort of hit his stride in his age 29 season. Now, he was great before that, but he's been phenomenal since then. Zack Greinke's quietly been a very good pitcher in Major League Baseball since 2004. Definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, for these next two players, they're kind of on the fringe right now. I think at the end of their career, they'll definitely be Hall of Famers. But if they ended their career today, it's kind of on the fringe. So for these last two players, I'd love to know what you guys think, because it's really, really close. I'm honestly right on the line with them. Like, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to argue that they are Hall of Famers if their careers ended today. That first player is going to be Yadier Molina. When you talk about Yadier Molina, the first thing that comes to mind is how good defensively he is, and he is without a doubt one of the best catchers of all time, strictly based off defense. He's a 9-time Gold Glove Award winner, 4-time Platinum Glove winner. He has a great caught stealing percentage, does a great job calling the game behind the plate. That's definitely Yadier Molina's strong point. When you look at his defensive WAR on Baseball Reference at 24.9, it's one of the highest among catchers ever. Now, offensively, that's where it gets a little bit of a gray point here. He's had some years where he's good, some years where he's pretty much useless at the plate. One thing he has always maintained, though, is a high average. So for those who are traditionalists and like high batting average, he definitely checks off there. But his on-base and slugging has been a bit low, which leads to a low OPS. In Yadier's 16-year career playing catcher pretty much every single game, here's what his numbers look like. Since 2005, he hasn't played less than 110 games in a season, so that's pretty incredible for a catcher. He's played in just over 1,900 games, accumulated 1,918 hits, 371 doubles, 150 home runs, 895 RBIs. His lifetime batting average is 282 with an on-base at 333, slugging at 404, and an OPS at 737. He's definitely not making it into the Hall of Fame because he's an elite offensive catcher. The reason he would make it in is because how good he is defensively, along with how good he's been offensively. When you put the offense and defense together as a complete player, gotta put him in the Hall of Fame. But again, I'd love to know what you guys think. And then for the final player in today's video, we're gonna talk about Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds. Votto's a really strange player. He's not like a player we've seen too often in Major League Baseball history. He's a guy who hit for immense power in his career up until the last couple seasons, and he also had an insane eye at the plate, which took away from some of his offensive numbers like home runs, hits, RBIs. Joey Votto's a guy who's walked 100 plus times in a season 6 different times in his career. He's also hit 30 plus home runs twice and 29 home runs 3 times in his career. He won the MVP back in 2005. He finished 3rd in 2015, 2nd in 2017. He's a 6-time All-Star, 1-time Gold Glove Award winner. He's a really good all-around player. Now, when you look at his career numbers, here's what they lay out as. In his 13-year Major League career, Votto has played in 1,666 games. He has 1,817 hits, 392 doubles, 277 home runs, 922 RBIs, and then 1,148 walks. So if you counted about half of those as hits, you could probably put Joey Votto right in that 2,500 hits range, which makes him really close to a Hall of Famer considering his power numbers. And then when you look at his slash line, that's where you go, man, he's been an incredible player throughout his career. A career average at 308, on base at 423, slugging at 522, and an OPS at 944. This one is a really tough pick as well. Now, I'm arguing that he would be in the Hall of Fame if he retired today, but again, I understand why people don't, because the Hall of Fame tends to be a place where you need to have stats that accumulate high numbers. So I think Joey Votto would probably make it into the Hall of Fame if he retired today. But I'd also love to know what you guys think, because in my opinion right now, those are probably the 10 players in baseball who could retire right now and make it into the Baseball Hall of Fame. But again, it's up for debate. That's what's great about baseball. You can have a conversation, you can talk, and I'd love to know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below, or you can hit me up on Twitter at GiraffeNeckMarc, or maybe even Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it. There was a lot of research that went into it, so you know, a like would help out. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you love baseball content. This is the place to be. You need to hit the sub button. This is normally the time where I tell you to comment, but I already did that, so I'm a little bit thrown off for the outro. So I'll just go ahead and thank you guys for the amazing support recently. At the time of uploading this, we're almost at 95,000 subscribers. Insane stuff, almost at 100K. Gonna wrap up today's video with that. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of comments in the comment section today with a lot of arguments, but I love it. That's what's great about baseball. But it's time to wrap up today's video. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here, as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you all for watching. Baseball's the best, and I'll see you next time.